recording and yes, has
Perfect.
started.
Thank
Okay.
you so much. I really appreciate that. For some reason, it'll show for everyone in the chat.
Okay.
No problem. And problem solved. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the State of North Carolina Agency Meet and Greet series. My name is Andrea Bennett, and I lead a program called the Ed to NC, operated through the North Carolina Office of State Human Resources. The main goal of this program is to excite, motivate, and encourage college students, alumni, and early career professionals into rewarding careers in state government. Thank you all for joining us here today. For this is day one, session one of our series with the Office of, North Carolina Office of State Controller. Before I hand it off to OSC, I will send out a link to a very short survey at the end of the session. Because we would like for everyone to evaluate to see how our meet and greet series are going. This is our very first time we are offering a series like this. So we would love to get some feedback to see if this is something that we should continue to do throughout the semester or next year, things like that. Also, if you are interested in registering for another session later this week or next, I will also place that link into the chat. Without further ado, I would love to welcome the North Carolina Office of State Controller. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us here this afternoon.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, HR, for having a meet and greet. And I just want to start out by introducing myself. I'm Glenda Ellerby. I'm the HR director with the Office of the State Controller. And I have my colleague with me, Elaine Kubik, and I'll let Elaine introduce herself.
Well, good afternoon. As Glenn said, my name's Elaine Kubik. I work here with the Office of State Controller. I'm in the Human Resources Office. I've been working for the Office of State Controller for about 7 years, though I'm a state retiree. So I was with state government for over 30 years before coming back part-time. So you can see that it can be a very long and rewarding career. So we're so happy to have each of you here today.
And thank you for all of you who have joined us today. And as you hear from Elaine, yes, she has retired from the state government. And you see, as retirement, you can continue to move forward and continue to work. So that is one great opportunity about working with state government. So let me just go in and tell you a little bit about who we are. The state controller is the state chief financial officer for the state of North Carolina. As we have a state controller, and we have a new state controller this year. Our other state controller, Dr. Combs, she retired in July. So we have Nels Roseland, who is our seventh state controller since the controller's office has been in action. So the controller serves as an independent resource to protect the financial integrity of the state and to promote accountability in an objective and efficient manner through its accounting, disbursement. We handle the payroll for the state of North Carolina, and this all includes all state agencies, colleges, the universities, colleges, and then also internal control, where we do auditing and compliance, data management, e-commerce, and financial reporting systems, which is something that we're working on now, is creating a new financial system, which is called North Carolina Financial Systems. So the basis for the controller's authority is statutory, and the controller manages 14 enterprise programs. So as I stated, Nels Roseland is our current state controller, and that position is appointed by the governor, and it's also confirmed by our legislature for a 7-year term. So as a state controller, they're here serving for 7 years, or unless, they want to, shorten that period of time, but mostly 7 years. OSC carries out its enterprise-wide duties at marginal cost to the taxpayers. And we also have a success map. So our mission is to protect the financial integrity of the state and to promote accountability in an objective and efficient manner. And when we talk about integrity, when we talk about accountability, as the state controller's office, we're bound by that mission because we are handling finances for the state. We're handling the payroll for state employees. So employees that we hire in these positions, it's very critical that they understand that mission and they operate under that mission to the highest degree, because employees are dependent on us for benefits, for their time. We have our beacon system, and where they incorporate the time and their benefits and everything in that one payroll system. So we have a call center, which is about, how many people would you say, Elaine, is in that call center? About 50 some employees?
I would think probably somewhere between 45 to 50.
Yes. So we have those call center reps, which you have tier 1 and tier 2. Those are like our entry level positions that we have. And those positions are ones that reach out to employees, former employees, retirees, if they have any questions about previous employers' contact for references. They are handling internal calls, emails, mail, a lot of different contacts that they have with people. I'll let Elaine kind of tell you a little bit more if I forget anything, but they handle all of that when it comes down to any questions that state employees have. Elaine, is there anything else that I missed out on for
About
the call
the
center?
calls. They primarily are involved in contact with our external customers, with state employees and vendors and things like that. So no, I think you covered most of it.
Okay. Yeah. So when you talk about that too, and then what just came about, because we have a position that we have posted out there, like for garnishments, we handle things like garnishments and all types of different services. Has to happen for a state employee. They're going to make sure that the payment is going to be taken care of and handled. So one thing that OSC does is make sure that we provide excellent customer service to our vendors and to our customers. We are stating that excellent customer service to other state employees as well, and even within ourselves. I'm a customer to that call customer. Andrea is a customer too. So providing that excellent customer service, making services readily and available, processing transactions, and we make sure that those transactions are processed accurately and in a timely manner. That's very critical. Develop facilitative technology systems, because we have our IT IT positions that are handling our security and giving HR staff the security roles when they're operating under the HR payroll system. And then we also have it was one other one I was going to say, it just left me, but also provide accessible financial expertise to help solve problems for agencies, queries. We also have training. Any employee who is going to come into the state, they are going to go through training for Beacon. So, well, that's Beacon is the old name, the HR payroll system. So they will come in and complete training for that. And our training program here is excellent. And we have that training team that provide those services to state employees, new state employees that come on board. So when I talk about positions and everything, some positions that we have in state government, right now we have positions that are around like accounting specialists, which is in our best shared services area. We have some application systems analyst positions open. These are positions that they're not entry level, but one that is readily available for someone who does have experience in those areas. So depending on what you're looking for, what you're going to school for, if you're looking in IT, you know, this is one area that you will be able to, you know, look at, look into that, into the IT field, because everything is going to the cloud now. So we are working with that and putting everything in Oracle, so that everything is readily accessible and up to date. I'll get in our systems and everything up to date. I see some questions out there, and I will put that that website out there for our vacant positions. If Elaine, if you see that text, you can put that website out there as well. But
Okay.
I will do that. We do offer remote work. One thing, let's just say during the pandemic, COVID has actually taught us in at OSC that we can do this work remote, and then we did it so well we continue to work remote. Our call center is fully remote. So those positions, which are call center representatives, tier 1 and 2, they are remote. Accounting specialists, and then we have HRIS analyst positions too. Those positions are remote, 100%. Some of our accounting positions are remote as well. So we have 173 employees at OSC. So we're a very small agency. Of that 173, we have probably a very small percentage, haven't really looked at the percentage wise, but a very small percentage that work hybrid. So our state controller, our executive leadership team has looked at the opportunity for employees with OSC to work telework at full capacity, because they have proven themselves to do very well. So we continue that model. Is there any other questions that's out there that you all had? Let me make sure if I got
There
if
is
you
one,
want Mhm.
Glenda, there is one question. It says, is your job more customer service related or finance related? And also, what are your benefits like?
So we have both. We will have customer service, and we do have finance as well. We have a section that's called statewide accounting. Statewide accounting has accountants, state controller, financial specialists that work with other state agencies through their accounting programs, and through the various NCAS, one of the systems that we've had here, NCAS. And what's the other system, Elaine?
The financial system, North Carolina Financial Systems, the Beacon HR payroll system. All those have, you know, those are IT and financial.
Yes. So we have both of those careers here. So all of our jobs are based in Raleigh. We have the majority of our positions, all of our jobs are based in Raleigh. We have hired some employees that have worked outside through this new teleworking program. We have had some employees that have worked outside of the Raleigh city limits. So when we look at our operation, you know, OSC is a great place to work. I've been in state government for 20 years and going on 22 years. And I've been with OSC since 2018. And it's really been a great place to work. It's very small, very family oriented. We have a lot of different activities that we do here to keep the engagement. We definitely keep the communication the employees up to date on different things, keep the communication going for our employees. So when you're looking for an organization that will I know about what's going on day to day? Yes, you will know what's going on day to day with OSC. Our leadership team makes sure that we do get that information out to the employees. So the jobs that you will see out there are going to be jobs that's currently vacant, and we don't have any call center positions that's vacant at the current time, but that is a area where those positions may turn over quickly only because they're promotional opportunities. When we have a call center tier 1 hired, and then if there's a call center 2, we always hire that call center 1 person into the call center 2 position. And then we have from the call center 2, we have employees that are promoted to accounting specialists as well. So if you have an accounting background and you're looking for an accounting, it is a great opportunity to come to OSC because there is some upward mobility there.
Glenda, there's a question that says, I'm on the site. Should we search certain keywords to see the jobs you all mentioned? I think you should probably just search office. You can filter by department. And if you filter by department, you can see the Office of the State Controller. If you want to see jobs specific to the Office of State Controller, that would be what I would suggest.
So what's the most fun aspect of my position as an HR director? I would probably say engaging with employees when we have our employee appreciation, we have fall festivals, we have our lunch and learns. We organize lunch and learns, educating employees about different services and programs that's going to benefit them. So working with my team, we work together to ensure that HR is providing OSC employees with the most up-to-date, especially teleworking. We make sure we try to keep them involved with safety protocols. And like I talked about, employee appreciation, engaging employees, not where you just working from home and we never see you. So we've had employee appreciation this year. We're preparing for our fall and holiday gatherings. So those are kind of like the fun things, of my job. And then making sure that we're hiring the most qualified candidates that will come here and be a part of a great team. So talking about some of the degrees that we look for is accounting, because you've heard me talk about accounting. Public administration is another one. Information technology, because we do have IT positions. Business administration, which could be anywhere in with the call center, statewide accounting, or audit risk and compliance. And then also certified public accountants. We do have certified public accountants that are employed in our organization as well. I don't see the whole question. So
the question that just came up, are you talking about the one you were finishing up? Also, what's the path of career development going on as an entry-level associate of the state controller?
So what are the paths for career development going into an entry level? For an entry level, like I said, we've had call center. Give you an example. We've actually had someone who was in the call center that moved from a call center position to a to the HRIS analyst, and then move into our functional team, which is a higher level position. So there is an opportunity to move upward mobility in the in OSC. We've also had employees who have come in and worked like in a state controller financial specialist 1 position, moving up to a state controller financial 2 position. So there is career development within the agency. You will learn. You have a team of people that work with you to be able to move up. And I've seen, since I've been here, I've seen a lot of employees moving in career positions. Let's make sure I have anyone we can call.
We could talk about how those applications are screened.
Okay, I'll let you.
You want me to
if you could talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. The question is, anyone we should call or anything to add to our applications to make sure we are considered? Not, calling that, North Carolina is a merit-based recruitment, and we look for applicants that meet the qualifications of the positions and meet and exceed the qualifications of the position that are advertised. So I would suggest that you just read the vacancy announcement carefully, look for what it is asking for, and think about what your experience has been, whether it's in your education or whether it's in job experience, and whatever that may be, make sure that's included in your application, because we use the application to screen applicants to let us know whether they either meet or exceed or do not meet the education, experience, knowledge, skills, and abilities that this particular position or any particular position would be asking for. So calling or anything like that's really not going to make a difference. It's making sure your application reflects your work history and your educational history and how that relates to the position that you're applying for.
And being detailed on your application is very important, because keep in mind, the application is the introduction of you. So you're representing yourself before you even being seen or being, offered an interview. That's how you're going to get that interview. And the question here where it says for finance accounting major, would there be any roles that are finance based in the office? Yes, but let me just share this with you. From an accounting major, one of the requirements that you will see on a lot of our accounting positions in state government, not just OSC, but throughout state government, you have to have at least 18 semester hours of accounting. So if you're looking into accounting, make sure, or finance, make sure you get those 18 hours of accounting coursework, because that is going to be very critical for any accounting position in state government. But when applying for any position in state government or any corporation, you really want to make sure whatever job that you've done, that you're very detailed in the work that you perform, because that is what we're screening against, what you indicated on your application, to ensure that you do qualify for the position. And let's see. So some of the agency programs, just to give you a little idea, I think I talked about some of them, but like our North Carolina financial system is one of the new systems that we're working on now, and that is going to be going live October 2023. So we have a lot of contractors. We have other state agencies that have been helping to get this program together. So we are really working hard to get this new financial system. That may generate some jobs, but keep in mind, you're going to have some experience with it. So I'm just giving you little tidbits on getting that accounting background, because even if you start entry level, at least you have that that accounting coursework on your application as well, because you put it on your application, but we also go through the clearinghouse and ask for your what is the form? Your transcript to
Uh-huh.
validate that. Mhm. So then we also have human resources and payroll operations, the statewide internal control compliance, and as I talked about, statewide training as well. Let's see if I'm not missing anyone's question. Hold on. So if you go into the Office of the State Controller, it's going to show you what jobs are currently, when you go into NeoGov, and you can select the category. So if you select Office of the State Controller, it's going to show you what positions are vacant there. They change. One thing about state government jobs, it does change weekly. So when looking for a job, it is good to look on that NeoGov site at least weekly. It's 4 opening, correct? That's what we have now. Those are the 4 positions that we currently have open. Yes. I'm just going to check and see. Elaine, while we're looking at the questions, can you come up with any good story that you can probably tell everyone about since you've been here the longest?
You mean about the job?
OSC and
OSC?
Yeah, like why is a great place to work? Why does anyone want to come and work with OSC?
Why does anybody want to work at OSC? Well, you know,
Yeah.
I've worked at 2 different state agencies, and you know, they each have their own unique culture, and I would say that about any state agency in that we have in state government, that they all have their individual unique characteristics, and you kind of have to find what fits you. But the Office of State Controller, what I've liked about it is that it is a small agency. It's a smaller agency. You can get to know people. You work closely with people. Your work groups are not big work groups. They're individual. You know, there may be 3 or 4, they may be 8 or 10, but they're not 100 people that you're working with daily. You have your own individual work groups. So it's easier to get to know people, know the work, and people are always willing to help. They're always, if you got questions, you've got, you know, you just don't know the processes about certain things, people are willing to help you because we are that agency that has more of a family feel. Now, as I said, came from a much bigger agency when I retired from the Department of what's now called Natural and Cultural Resources. So it was a much larger agency. So you kind of have to, you find your way around differently in the big agencies. But I've enjoyed OSC primarily because of its kind of small family atmosphere that we have here.
Mm-hmm. And that's very true. You will get to know everyone here. That's one good part about it. And Brandy, as you asked a question about, you know, someone graduating, and you know, I don't have the experience. I've been in college. I'm just graduating. Well, there are lots of career jobs in government for those who may not have the experience, but keep in mind, and not to discourage anyone, it is not to discourage, but it's a part of educating the job seeker. One of the things is, don't get discouraged if you put in an application, you don't hear anything. Keep looking until the right job comes your way. If it is a position, as I said earlier, you want to be as detailed as possible on your application, because the more detailed you are in the work that you've done, in the jobs that you've worked, then that helps you to be able to have a chance for an interview. So, like I said, the call center positions are our entry level positions, and we have hired people with minimum years of experience, and they have a degree. So that that's an option. There's an opportunity there, for you. But I mean, I can't say, yeah, we're going to hire you automatically, but it just takes us in HR to review all applications. And I will say this, when we do get those tier 1 and tier 2 positions, when we have those openings, we get a lot of applicants. So the way you fill out your application, keep that in mind that, hey, I want mine to be the first look. Any other pointers you can give out, Elaine?
I would always say that, if you're not absolutely ready to graduate this year, if you've got a little more time in school, I would say just use every opportunity you have to do internships or to find part-time work or anything like that that will help you get into your field. If you have a specific field you want to be in, try to find those jobs or part-time, summertime, whatever, that do apply to what you want to do. So because we look at all that, we look at things that people have done. I would also tell you that the state has a temp agency, Temporary Solutions, and there are all kinds of temporary jobs out there as a way to get a foot in the door for folks who are maybe just graduating or maybe just, as I said, as in summertime work or something like that. So be aware of all your options. In fact, it's that you can go into the state's website for jobs, as we've been talking about, and the temporary jobs are posted there as well. They're not all just the permanent full-time jobs. So think about different ways that you can get experience. That's the main thing.
Yes.
Look for ways to get experience.
And that's a good point. I didn't mention Temporary Solutions, but that is a good segment to come into state government and gain some experience also. There has been, I don't know the percentage, but I know I work with other state agencies where we've actually hired temporary applicants who have worked through Temp Solution into a permanent position. Yes. Any other questions? I think we have kind of provided information for what we can for right now. Is there anything else? Anyone have any questions? Andrea, do you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, for sure. I love to piggyback on a Temp Solutions notion there. I'm always happy to share with college students, grads, early career professionals that I started my first, bout with the state government as a temp and was hired on as a permanent employee. So I always tell folks there's no shame at all at starting as a temp, because if that's your way and entry into state government, allow that to be your door and walk proudly in with your head held up high for sure. So don't feel ashamed about that at all. And so overall, the takeaway, because I was taking notes because they were giving out a lot of good details and were giving a lot of behind the scenes of, as people would say, the tea, if you will, if I can use some cultural words of how to work for state government, or at least for office as a state controller. So one of the big takeaways for me, folks, was them mentioning that because of COVID, one of the high points is that they are offering positions that are remote or hybrid. To me, that is a plus. And as we know, that is something that a lot of applicants are very interested in. So definitely keep that on the radar as you move forward for the folks who are looking for positions within the next couple months. They also did mention that for those positions that are the call center positions, those positions are often promotable for folks who are those applicants or those employees who tend to go into those positions. Most likely after they are in those positions, I don't believe if you stated for how long, Glenda, but you just state that once they're in those positions, if they desire, if a position opens up for a step higher or two, typically they are after they apply, they are bumped up into another position above that. So most likely, if you do apply and start out as a call center position, the likelihood of you being able to elevate and continue to move up within OSC, if that is your agency of choice, is extremely likely. Is it a guarantee? Of course, we cannot make guarantees. However, can we say it's extremely likely? I think we can confidently say it is extremely likely. And so that's probably one of the biggest takeaways that I gathered from this presentation here. And I also realized, I do believe I am having some Teams issues that I cannot see the chat. I have been putting things in the chat through my cell phone here. So I will be adding some additional links into the chat here, as well as sending some emails. I did put the job alert link into the chat. So for those who are interested in creating a job alert, because they did provide a link to our job board. So I know there's, I think, only 4 positions currently posted, and I believe the more mid to higher level positions. But, the job alerts, you are able to create a customized alert where you will receive an email for, I believe, up to a year on any general topics that you're interested in. And so for sure, if OSC or any general topics, whether it's accounting, I believe it was Mike was asking accounting or finance questions, you can easily, select those topics within the job alerts. And every time a position with any of our state agencies, because every agency hires accountants, you will receive an email that will state that whether it's OSC or, Department of Revenue or another agency, whenever a job posts, you will receive that particular job posting. I will also provide you guys a link to the Ed2NC website. We also have another resource. It's called our entry-level data bank. On this data bank, it gives you a rundown of a general classification of what's required as far as the general E&Es or education and experience for our entry-level positions. It doesn't tell you whether the jobs are currently open or not, but it does give you an idea of what's required. So when Glenda was mentioning that for accounting positions, that you do need those 18 credits, it does gives you that exact rundown in all those agencies that does require an accountant 1. And so for that position and all the other entry-level positions, we do have that on our website. So I think that will be extremely helpful for those folks who are still currently in college or are soon to be graduating for college and are looking for particular positions and kind of want to prepare themselves before they're going into the workforce and looking into working for state government and very interested in being a public servant. So whether I can get my chat to work during this call, if not, I will send it to you as an email. But no matter what, you will get these links from me. Besides that, were there any other questions in the chat or?
There is one question that came up. Does the state ever not send your payroll on time? Only asking because I have heard of some jobs not getting paid with the government, but I don't think it was you all. Well, we're going to make sure everyone gets paid. If they put in their time, they're going to get paid.
Yeah, I've worked for state government for over 40 years, and I've never missed a paycheck. So we don't have that issue.
Yeah, and I'm over 20, and I haven't missed a paycheck either.
I'm just 2, and I never miss a paycheck, so.
Good. So from 2 to 40, we've been doing great. Great.
That's a good question,
thank you all. That's good. Any other questions? Does someone want to come off mute and say something?
Okay. That's okay as well.
Well, thank you very much for this meet and greet, and I wish each and every one of you all the best in your student life and graduating and your career as well. But definitely feel free to reach out on NeoGov and check that website on a weekly basis and take some of these tips that we offer, like Elaine, any internships that you can find, and any part-time positions or full-time positions, temp solutions, etc. And take up on those tips, and wish you the best of success.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Glenda and Elaine for giving us their time this afternoon. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a contact. And like I said, I will be sending up a follow-up email with a very quick survey. So please, 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 please fill out the survey. And I'll be providing some additional links to help everyone here with their everything I mentioned earlier. But thank you all again for attending our very first meet and greet. And like I mentioned before, this session will be recorded. So we'll be having this recording listed on our Ed to NC website. Thank you all again and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.